You know what I like to do when the internet, like in the early 2000s, when the internet was coming really big and you got out of dial up and you got out of DSL and you started going to more of a cable type. So, you can just get on and it's always like what they call the always on internet. I used to love looking through like cameras around the world.
Oh yeah, because nothing was secure. A little
Yeah, you
search
could just,
string.
yeah. And some of the favorite ones I used to like, and I probably Funk, you probably know this. I used to go. They used to have like cameras set up like in an old library, like the Evansville Ghost, and they would have these cameras set up, right? And on the bottom, if you see something, screenshot it and send it to us. So
Oh yeah,
and
I
then they
remember
would
that.
have like 100 people like, look, this is the old librarian. Can't you see her like shadow or her? Can't you, see her outline and but there are some interesting captures on some of that. And there was one with like a chupacabra like video cam, and they had, yeah, and you just see all there saw was deers and shit coming by. It's like,
Did-
really?
it was, and that's like the ADD cock. We're right back full circle to like paranormal. I love it.
I've even experienced some stuff that has happened, even like a couple years ago. Like the other, like, okay, I'll give you a good example. One night I was working nights. I was on night graveyard shift, and I come home for lunch, and I was saying goodbye to my wife, and she was at the front door, um, and I was leaving, and all of a sudden, the garage light turned on because I could see it from, because the garage door has those like window panels, the fancy ones that have the window panels, the roll up
That's
doors.
just fancy talk.
And I'm like thinking, okay, it's 10 o'clock at night, almost 11 o'clock at night. Everybody else is in bed except my wife, who's standing at the front door. And I'm in my car, and I see the light go on. So I asked her, "Hey, is somebody up?" And she's like, "No, everyone's asleep." So she went and looked. Yeah, the damn light turned on by itself. Now I thought maybe the cat maybe walked by the light switch, because we hit right by the light switch we have a couch, so he could get up right there. She's like, "No, the cat's been right next to me the whole time while we were watching you leave, saying goodbye." And yeah, so I've had shit like that and can't explain it. I don't know if it's anything. How do you explain shit like that?
I need to I need to share this video with you. So this is like a couple weeks ago, actually. I've got that Nest doorbell camera,
Yeah,
and
that's good news. Yeah.
I work nights, so when I get alerts, I live in a cul-de-sac, so when I get an alert, I look because sometimes it's like the newspaper delivery or whatever, which has been less now. The guy across the street who got newspaper doesn't get it anymore, so at 5 a.m. I don't get that every time. So randomly I'll get stuff. Sometimes it's just the wind blew my flag out front and it caught the camera, but I get an alert and it's like motion detection. So I look and I saved this video clip. The weather at this point has been pleasant, so my heat is turned off. Because the vent for the heat, like, because I've got one of those 90 whatever percent efficiency furnaces, so it actually exhausts out. It doesn't have like a chimney on the furnace. It's actually just got a little thing that blows air out while it's going.
Wow.
So you'll get steam out of that sometimes, or out of the dryer vent. It's kind of in the same area. It comes out the front of the house right there. And but that's all turned off. Everybody's in bed, so I know the dryer's not going. The heat's turned off because it's been pleasant. All the windows are open in the house. But you'll see on the camera coming up from the ground, like literally, like all of a sudden there's like this little cloudy looking thing, and it just kind of goes up and just floats out away from the house, just like this. Now there may be some natural explanation. Maybe there was like some gas off from the ground. I don't know, but it was weird. It was random, and it changed shape as it went through this. I don't know. It was weird. I'll have to show it to you.
I like what. So you know what? You could tell there's a lot of people out there putting that stuff out there, but it's a lot. Some of that stuff's like I hate to say this, but when you watch some of these YouTube videos and you see people screaming, "Oh my god!" and "Oh, what is that?" and stuff like this, to me, it sounds too much like it's fake. Because you think about it, when something really does happen, it's so subtle you don't even notice it. And the only thing that you can do is hopefully go back on the camera and see if you caught anything. Or you never noticed it and only the camera picked it up. Like I shared a video of we're in an old Adobe home that's been there for hundreds of years. And we're doing a small ghost tour. And I said, I'm gonna bring my recording stuff and just go through this thing. And my whole thing was to listen to the guy that was giving the tour and stuff. He's supposed to be this paranormal guy and he's a real nice dude. I mean, he's not like super like out there like some of these other ones are. And we're in this, room, which is the main bedroom. And in that house back then, they used to make like small chapels. And so we're in the main bedroom, and then the next room they're in is like a small little like makeshift chapel that they have where they would go pray and stuff because they were Catholic at the time. I'm recording and the room shakes like out of nowhere. The room just shakes, and it's in the video. You didn't see me yelling and stuff. I was like, okay, what was that? You can hear somebody say,
Bruh.
"Did you hear that?" And I was like, I felt that. Like, what was it? And we were like baffled, but we weren't like running out screaming like you see some of this other stuff.
Where did this take place? Was this in California?
This was in California. Yeah, this was in California at an old Adobe.
Things shaking in California is unusual.
Oh, yeah.
So this one time I went to a Mexican restaurant, and as I left, just these breeze just kept coming out my backside. No idea what it was.
Yeah, you were booming. That's what you were doing. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's what you were shooting out, all right. You know what? I'll tell you this. There's a lot of establishments that will do that to you. A lot of them. I've been to many of them. So I'm walking out, right, of this restaurant. I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. And I'm not trying to be picking on a certain class of people, but I remember walking out of a restaurant and this one guy walking in, and this guy was covered. And I have no qualms with people with tattoos. I love tattoos. I don't have one, but I love people that put tattoos together. And he had this big tattoo on his neck, and he was a larger guy, so you could see it. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. It just was like a blob of like, not even colors, but just grays. You know how they do it with that, I guess, what do they call that? Indian ink? They used to call it Indian ink.
Yeah. India ink. Yeah, India.
Because there's ink, right? Get me if I'm wrong. There's ink that they used to use back in the day that used to turn green, right? It was black when it first started. It would turn green.
Yeah, it's Indian ink. It's made out of ash.
Right. And so I was like, man. And the first thing, people always say, and yeah, people with neck tattoos, it's hard for them, and it's true because I have a good friend that had like that. Hey man, I got a neck tattoo, and it looked pretty badass. But like, it's hard to get like a blue collar job doing that stuff,
You see them kids in their neck tattoos?
Or how about the ones they put on their face?
Their face tattoos?